Hey guys, it's restocker here coming at you with another Dota 2 video, and in this one I'm going to be showing you how to jungle with Dark Seer and hit level 6 at a pretty remarkable speed. In this video we're going to be hitting level 6 at 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the Radiant side, and then I'm going to show you how to do the Dar side. Even if you're extremely unlucky, you should probably be hitting level 6 around the 3 minute and 30 second mark, 3 minute 45 at like the latest. So we're going to start with the Iron Talon and a set of tangos here. We're going to be chopping down the trees. These are pretty standard trees that you're going to chop down regardless of who you jungle with, and it just lets you get from one camp to another, transition a little bit better and things like that. So we're going to try to use the courier only one time. That's a very important thing that I do when I try to do these jungle patterns, is use the courier only once. So we're going to be sending ourselves the 2 salves and the clarity all in one go. If you want to queue up a bunch of items, you hold Control and Shift, and it allows you to queue up a lot of items. So what we're going to do here is cast the Ion Shell at 29 second mark, head in there, eat a tango, and we are going to kill the satyrs here. And the goal here is to just kill this camp and head on over and stack the big camp. Now, important thing to note is when you're stacking the big camp, you don't want to use Iron Talon on the big creep. And this is because Iron Talon has a pretty long cooldown, and if you cast it on the creep, the cooldown is longer than cutting a tree. And if we use it to stack the big camp, we're not going to be able to use it to kill the medium camp here. And that's important because we want to kill 2 medium camps. Now, I'm pretty happy that I got the Mud Golem here. What we want to do is I'm happy because it's a bad thing, so I can actually show you guys. So as you can see, when I got that other Mud Golem to about 10% health, I stopped hitting it and switched to the Mud Golem at full HP. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to make sure that I switched the damage onto the other one, but I did enough damage to summon the mini Mud Golem so I can cast a second Ion Shell. So this makes it so that I have 2 Ion Shells running and I can clear all the creeps, at roughly the same time. As you can see that they all kind of just died together. So now we head on over to the second medium camp, and we're going to clear this. And in the meantime, of course, make sure you send your healing items yourselves, run your clarity, and run your healing salve. I pause Surge just to make sure I get over here. You don't necessarily have to. You can probably make it without casting Surge. But the thing is, as you can see, I got my clarity cancelled, but even getting that extra 7-8 seconds on the clarity is going to be the world of difference here. So what we're going to do is cast the Ion Shell on a small creep. Just pick any small creep, it doesn't really matter. I like to cast it on the little satyr or sometimes the centaurs, and I'm going to be waiting a little bit before I cast my Ion Shell here. And the reason for that is because I want to use the Ion Shell that's on me currently to kill both this big camp and the next medium camp that we're going to be moving on to. So pop your healing salve here. And you kind of have to get a feel for it. In this case, I'm going to wait for the healing salve to heal me for a decent portion of my life. I don't wait for the entire duration because I want to make sure that I can get to the second medium camp and stack that as well. So we're going to head on over to the second medium camp. We're going to wait around for maybe 2-3 seconds just to make sure that we can stack in. As you can see, we have about 100 mana right now, and we're going to just have to wait maybe 2 or 3 seconds before we have enough mana to cast the Ion Shell here. And just as the camp stacks, we have enough mana to cast the Ion Shell, and that's why I was saying earlier, even if you have to use the clarity and you only get like 7 or 8 seconds of it, it gives you enough mana to cast the Ion Shell. This is a very strict jungle path in terms of timing. As you can see, we hit level 6, and yep, so we'll head on over to the Dire side and cover some of that. So welcome back to the Dire side, guys, and I'm going to be running the video at 1.5x speed. I'm not going to be talking too much about the jungling itself, but rather giving you kind of tips and tricks that I may have missed on the Radiant side. So to start off, it's basically the same thing. We're going to be chopping down trees that essentially just let us get from one camp to another in a bit more efficient manner. And we're going to be cutting down any trees that we find kind of obtrusive or in the way. For example, these 2 trees right here, you don't have to cut them down, but then when you do, it gives you a little bit more vision of that medium camp, and it gives you a little 3-4 seconds maybe to kind of plan your attack on the creeps. It gives you vision to Iron Talon a little bit earlier, things like that. So once again, start at the medium camp, stack the big camp, head back to the medium camp, just like the Radiant side, and this is going to allow you to buy your restoratives, your 2 salves, and clarity. Everything is basically the same in that regard. We're going to head on over here. Once again, just remember, make sure that you don't use your Iron Talon to stack the creeps, because you'll have to use them on the medium camp. So now we're going to head on over here. And make sure you always Iron Talon the creep with the most HP. Here I misclick and hit the blue ogre. Another thing that you'll notice is that I continuously animation cancel and head towards the camp that I want to jungle next. So as you can see, I kind of made a circular motion around that camp, animation canceling, and it didn't really matter this time because I had some pretty good camps. But if you get unlucky, if you get a little bit tankier camps, every few seconds can matter. It'll depend whether you can stack, depends on the duration of your clarity and things like that. So something I didn't do last time is you can shift Q your Iron Talon here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift, click Iron Talon on the big satyr, and Q my movement back. And what this does is it obviously lets my clarity run for a few extra seconds, rather than getting cancelled like what happened on the Dire side. So we're going to clear the medium camp one more time, and then we're going to head on over to the big camp here. And once again, I like putting it on the little small satyr, Iron Taloned it up. This time we have a lot more mana because we didn't run into the Golem camp, but if having the extra clarity run for a little bit gives you some leeway. If you don't want to tank creep damage, you can cast your Ion Shell on another creep instead of on yourself. But of course, we have a healing salve here. We're going to hit level 6, and the whole point of Darkseer is you want to hit level 6, heal up, maybe go back to base or something, and then just pressure the enemy safe laner in the off lane. If you already have someone else on your team playing in the off lane, you can kind of do like a dual off lane kind of thing and just make life living hell for the enemy carry. So essentially that's Darkseer Jungle. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.